Beautiful fall day, almost fall, in the Mile High City. Happy Labor Day weekend, everybody. The Rockies are back home, and they're facing the surprising Arizona Diamondbacks, leading the division by 7 ball games. And good afternoon, everybody. With Jeff Houston, I'm Drew Goodman. Hope the weekend is going well. It went very well for the Diamondbacks out west in San Francisco. Big matchup over the weekend. It started as a 6-game separation. Obviously, San Francisco looking to sweep, get within 3. Instead, Arizona comes away with 2 of 3 behind their big 2 in their rotation.
Yeah, and they also beat Lincecum and Vogelsong in that series. They lost the first game. You wonder how are they going to react coming back strong? Well, they did emphatically. To get the 2 wins, to go up by 7 games is huge for the Diamondbacks. But they've been getting contributions from everybody throughout the lineup. There is not a regular player that's been with them the whole year that's hitting over 300. Guys like Ryan Roberts, who barely made the team coming out of spring training, is a big key to that. Willie BLOOMQUIST filling in for Stephen Drew, another big key for their offense. Whatever Kirk Gibson is doing is right, because he can roll a lineup out there where you look at it and say, this looks like a Sunday lineup or maybe a B lineup during spring training, and they go out and win.
You know, it's funny you say that. Chris Young, we were chatting with him earlier today, and he said exactly the same thing. He said every day it's a different guy. He said, I know a lot of people are going to point to Justin Upton, who's had a marvelous year. He said, but every guy on that team has contributed in some way, shape, or form. Yesterday it's Roberts tying up the ball game, then Willie BLOOMQUIST, a big 2-run triple to get separation.
But that's how you win divisions, getting contributions throughout everybody in your lineup. Guys out in the bullpen maybe that you didn't expect to do it, they are having good years. Maybe a David Hernandez comes to mind, filling in for JJ Putz. Those are the things that when you're winning, doesn't matter who you throw out there, you're going to continue to win.
We wish it was not happening in the National League West, but it is a very good baseball story in 2011. When we come back, we'll talk more about Dexter Fowler. Boy, has he been terrific of late.
This beautiful Labor Day Monday afternoon game. Dexter Fowler has really been enjoying every single day since being recalled from AAA Colorado Springs. 15 triples so far this season. He has set a single-season club record in triples for the Colorado Rockies. Now, 10 of those 15 have come since being recalled on July 15th. He has been absolutely tremendous at the plate, specifically when he gets to turn on the wheels and continues to collect those triples. Earlier today, I talked to Troy Tulowitzki about Dexter's offense as well as some other areas of his game.
He's done a good job since he's came back. There's still some areas in his game where he needs to get better, obviously, stealing bases and things like that. But he knows that, and I think he's going to make that a point this offseason to get better. The main thing for me is we can't keep having him go down and come back up. He has to stay here the whole year because when he's here, he really helps us.
I sense a coaching future in Troy Tulowitzki's future, and I talked to him also about just what Dexter has done offensively from both sides of the plate. Dexter has driven in 18 runs, a .307 average since coming back from Colorado Springs. Carney Lansford told me yesterday that he has really been able to find power hitting from the left side of the plate. He said, I didn't even know Dexter Fowler was that strong. For Dexter himself, he said it's the consistency from both sides of the plate, seeing the ball better, and just relaxing. We'll see what he can do today against the Arizona Diamondbacks once again in that leadoff spot for Dex. Game 1 between the Rockies and Diamondbacks. Comeback baseball is next.
Sports is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Ford Fiesta with 40 MPG. It's a pretty big deal. Ford Fiesta, drive one. By CenturyLink. Quest is now CenturyLink. Your link begins here. Find out more at CenturyLink.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at Southwest.com. Man, it's gorgeous out. A little snow in the high country. The ski season around the corner. The leaves are going to be turning soon, but still a hint of summer. As Willie BLOOMQUIST does a little stretching and prepares for the first pitch of this ball game. And here's Kirk Gibson's lineup presented by Southwest Airlines. Gerardo Parra, who's played great baseball for Arizona this year, shade under 300. He'll be in the 2 spot. Justin Upton at 294. He'll bat 3rd. Paul Goldschmidt will bat cleanup. Aaron Hill's done a very nice job since coming from Toronto. Jeff Blum has had an injury-plagued year. He'll bat 6th. Colin Cowgill giving the birthday boy, Chris Young, the first part of the day off. Henry Blanco will bat 8th. And Wade Miley on the hill. And the whole key, Huey, and we've said it before, for S. Mill Rogers, he's got to get out of the first inning.
Yeah, 20 runs in the first 10 innings of his starts this year. That is the problem. An 18 ERA. After the first inning, his ERA drops to 2.70.
Yeah, he's outstanding after that first inning. Pretty good pitch right there on the black. A little cut to it, 94-mile-an-hour heater. Strike one on Willie Bloomquist.
And the problem in his last start against Arizona was the first inning. Gave up a base hit to Bloomquist, hit Justin Upton with the pitch, and then a 3-run home run by Miguel Montero.
And there it is. It's mind-boggling. Now, if it's an 18.00, it's a nice scoring average if you're in the NBA. It's not what you want if you're a pitcher. And then in the second, from the second inning on, as Jeff pointed out, his numbers are terrific.
Just notice the walks to strikeouts. 6 strikeouts, 11 walks in the first inning, and then it goes to a 3-1 difference.
And for whatever reason, he gives up a bunch of home runs in the first inning, and then guys can't hit it out of the ballpark from that point on. So, again, the whole key is that first inning. He knows it. He's still a very young pitcher, just 19 career starts.
Well, and the opposing team also knows it. So their mindset going into the inning is be patient. He'll give you a pitch to hit. If not, he might walk you.
2-2 on Bloomquist, just underway, 83 degrees. And that slider was a good looking pitch. Bloomquist out front, just able to nick it.
But Rogers is not alone in first inning troubles. We talk quite frequently about you have to get to the starting pitcher early. If not, he settles into a nice routine.
And that pitch is away, and it's 3-2. Crowd still filing in. Great way to spend your Labor Day at the ballpark and a little barbecue after. Here's the 3-2. And this is in the air to right center field. Dexter will get there. He reminds me of, I think, the line Ralph Kiner ran out on Gary Maddox from a generation and a half ago, the great Philadelphia Phillies center fielder. He said 2/3 of the world is covered by water, the other third's covered by Gary Maddox. The same could be said of Dexter Fowler. Spielborg's getting the start and left. You'll notice in the infield, Ty Wigginton at first. Todd Helton's back is flared up a little bit. He didn't play yesterday and down today, and may need another day as well to get the stiffness out. Gerardo Parra will test Dexter again. The sun is a chore.
But he played that beautifully. Put the glove up high enough, angle your body so you get around the sun the whole time, shading the sun. Don't move the glove.
Well, 2 outs and nobody on. Justin Upton will come up. Upton with 68 extra base hits, which is #1 in the National League, 2 ahead of the good friends Troy Tulowitzki and Ryan Braun. 1-0 the count on Upton, who had a short day yesterday. He was thrown out for calling balls and strikes. First ejection of his career.
That was in the 4th inning. Brian Knight with the ejection.
And this ball's well hit right center field, and well, Rogers is not going to escape the first inning unscathed again. Justin Upton has hit his 27th of the year.
Back-to-back games for Rogers, giving up a home run in the first inning. Straight 4-seam fastball. Justin Upton stays centered, drives it in the gap in right center field.
So Paul Goldschmidt is at the plate now, and he hits a high fly ball to deep right center field, but this one's going to stay in the yard. Cargo's got it. So Esmil Rogers continues to struggle in the first inning. He got 3 fly balls, but he gave up the big fly to Justin Upton, and Arizona has a 1-0 lead. A solo home run in the first inning to give Arizona a 1-0 advantage. Dexter Fowler will lead things off for the Rockies. He's got the average up to 271 as he keeps accumulating extra base hits. He'll be followed in the Southwest Airlines batting order for Jim Tracy today by Mark Ellis. Then Cargo bat third, Tulowitzki fourth. Kevin Kuzminoff will slide up to the 5 spot. Ty Wigginton, Brian Spilborghs, Chris Iannetta, and Esmil Rogers to face Wade Miley, who's a veteran of 3 major league starts. This is number 4. Rockies faced him in his last outing.
His first start was 4 innings, 5 earned runs. Last 2 starts, just 2 earned runs.
And he quickly falls behind Dexter 2-0. Dexter 3 hits yesterday. He had 400 last week with 7 extra base hits, and he leans on this one to deep left field. He's just tied it up. Are you kidding me? Don't touch him. You'll get scorched. We've got ourselves a 1-1 baseball game. How hot is Dexter Fowler?
Ahead in the count, 2-0. Get the bat head started early. Ball away from a full extension. Head down. My, oh my. 3 home runs in the last week.
And Mark Ellis bounces it to short. Good job by Willie Bloomquist coming and getting it. 1 out. And that'll bring up Carlos Gonzalez. Well, you know what? We love Jim Tracy to death, but he's messing up right now. Why Fowler's not hitting 4th in the lineup? You just got to bump Tulowitzki or Gonzalez, 3rd or 4th, right?
Maybe the Diamondbacks think that because his 3 home runs have come against them. 2 down in Arizona, now 1 today.
That's something, isn't it?
For a player that had 0 home runs prior to last week.
Here's Cargo. He's 2 for 3 against Miley. And he takes a strike. I think you'll see a different Carlos Gonzalez today. He's been so good in this second half. And yesterday, he expanded the zone like we hadn't seen since April. Struck out 3 times, and he's got himself a base hit here in the first.
He urged you.
And that was, I know it's still early in the count, but Huey, that was a different approach.
More controlled approach, not swinging from the heel, staying back. hit it off the end, but base hit nonetheless up the middle. Well, Wade Miley, as I mentioned, his last 2 outings, and one of them against the Rockies, have been very, very good. Fastball, 92 to 93 miles an hour. Will throw it almost 70% of the time, but his get-me-out pitch is the changeup. Right-handers hitting 288 against Miley. Left-handers going into that at-bat by Carlos, we're hitting over 400.
Isn't that interesting?
Well, you take away the changeup from him, because his secondary pitches, the curveball and slider, are not that good.
Tulowitzki with a 1-0 count. Troy at 303. Just 6 for 53 against Arizona this year. That's unbelievable. And he's got 3 games to try to turn those numbers around a little bit. Rockies' final 3 ball games against the Diamondbacks this year, and they're 4-11 against Arizona. 2-4 here at Coors Field.
2-7 against the Diamondbacks down at Chase.
Bounces up there, and it's 2-0.
It's going to be tough to run today for the Rockies. 2 reasons. Wade Miley, the left-hander, but also Henry Blanco, the catcher. Throwing out over 43% of the runners this year, 40% for his career.
That's why he's still playing at 40. And that's inside. It's 3-0.
Turn him loose.
I was just, you know what? See, that's the scary thing. You and I spent a lot of time together. It was about to come out of my. You got to let him go. You did.
Turn it loose, swing from the heel, see what happens.
We'll never know. Ball 4. Gonzalez to second. Tulowitzki to first. Blanco to the mound. Kuzminov to the batter's box. Here's Arizona defensively. Gerardo Parra with a great arm in left field. Collin COWGILL and Justin Upton in the outfield. Blum at third. BLOOMQUIST at short. Hill and Goldschmidt right side. And the aforementioned Henry Blanco's behind the plate. Parra's tied along with Matt Kemp and one Carlos Gonzalez for the National League lead in outfield assists with 11. Kuzminov with 2 on. And that misses. You never know with a young pitcher how they react to that first time at Coors Field, because they've heard things, and then you have pitching coaches and probably teammates in the air saying, hey, you got to go pitch the same. It's not as bad as you think, et cetera, et cetera. But you just never know until they actually get out there.
And Miley, in the 2 starts against the Rockies, the first one down at Chase Field, it threw almost 30 pitches in the first inning. Today, those numbers are climbing up towards, I know he's only at 12, but after that home run, mindset's different.
Well, here's something else that jumps out at me, and the reason I bring up the point about Coors Field. What we've seen in the past, especially with young pitchers, they try to be ultra fine. They try to over torque their stuff, and so you'll see some walks. In the 6 innings that he worked in the 9-4 victory last week against the Rockies, he gave up 9 hits, but he didn't walk anybody. He's already walked 1. He was behind 2-0 to Dexter Fowler. Here's the 1-2. Strike 3. And Kevin Kuzminov is gone.
He did not try to go with any sort of off-speed pitch, but a fastball that was in the zone.
So Ty Wigginton will try to pick up his teammate. Again, Gonzalez singled. He's at second. Tulowitzki walked. He's at first. A home run by Fowler to tie the game at 1. And this is cued to Miley, and he'll flip to first. So Dexter Fowler, with his 2nd career leadoff home run, has tied up the baseball game as we go to the 2nd on Labor Day at Coors Field. Time for our Geico quote of the day. Bill Dodds, the author. Labor Day is a glorious holiday because your child will be going back to school the next day. It would have been called Independence Day, but that name was already taken. Well, back east, that was true. I grew up back east, and you went to school after Labor Day. Here in the West, more frequently, you've already been to school 2 or 3 weeks.
I remember growing up, and that's the way it was. It was Labor Day to Memorial Day, it seemed like.
You had schools in Sedona back then?
Yeah. Rode a horse to school.
Thought it was a camel. 0-2 on Aaron Hill.
Well, some kids have been back for 3 weeks.
That's a pretty good slider right there. No swing. Todd Tishner's at first base. Angel Hernandez is behind home plate. Angel's been around a while. Second base umpire, the crew chief, is Jerry Davis. Mike DeMuro is at third. Veteran crew other than Tishner at first. Here's the 1-2. On the ground at third. Kuzmanov stays low and he'll throw out Aaron Hill. Jeff Blum coming up, switch hitter. Boy, what a tough season he's had. He missed 3.5 months with knee surgery from spring training, and then he gets back for about 1.5 minutes and he breaks his finger.
Missed the last 35 games. Fractured pinky. Knee, and then pinky. But Kirk Gibson, the manager, said if the season were to end today and the playoffs were to start, Blum would be on the roster.
Wigginton feeds Rogers. Well, how about this on Labor Day? Best record since 1894, excuse me. The Rockies are 11-3. Marlins have been good. All time the Indians enjoyed Labor Day, the Giants, and then the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Rockies won 11 of their last 12 on Labor Day. And they scored a bunch of runs the last few years. 25 runs the last 3 years on Labor Day. 2 outs, COLLIN COWGILL at the plate.
And that's why they went back all the way to 1894, because that's when it became a federal holiday.
I did not realize that. Here's the 1-0. All right, I got an unbelievable story. How about Drew Pomerantz? Had the appendectomy a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. On the hill for Tulsa today, final ball game for Tulsa. Right now, he's perfect again through 5 2/3. Remember his first outing? He was perfect into the 7th inning. He's perfect again for 5 2/3. He's about aced the Texas League.
I think you can promote him from there. He's had enough of the AA hitters.
No, it's the other way around. They've had enough of him.
Either way,
we'll keep you abreast.
Impressive.
Yeah, unbelievable. Pomerantz came in that trade from Cleveland for Ubaldo Jimenez. We'll go to the bottom of the second, 1-1. Ryan Spilborghs to lead it off against Wade Miley as we visit with Alana Rizzo. Alana?
All right, guys, thanks very much. Since we see the Arizona Diamondbacks so frequently during the course of the season, we certainly have talked about how Kirk Gibson, their manager, has taken away a lot of the shenanigans that used to happen in the clubhouse, the toy planes, the race cars, those type of things. But I wanted to talk to a player about their perspective of when it happened. Chris Young told me that when Kirk Gibson was serving as a coach for the Diamondbacks, he was taking all the things in that he didn't really like. So when he became a manager, he implemented those things. The players are not even allowed to talk on their cell phones an hour before the ball game. It's all about focus for Gibson. And Chris Young said there was absolutely no resistance met from the players. He even said several of the players themselves wanted those things to stop in the clubhouse because they didn't feel that the other players were taking things seriously. Kirk Gibson, all about focus, all about winning. And you know what, guys? It has worked for them this season, so I'm sure the resistance was less, if there was any, because of the fact that they're winning ball games, guys.
Winning cures a lot of things. This is a very confident team right now. Spilborghs fouls that pitch off. 1-2.
Well, a season high 7 games above the San Francisco Giants. 20 games above 500 at 80-60.
It's the third best record they've had through 140 ball games. And a very good off-speed pitch. And Miley with his second strikeout. That'll bring up Chris Iannetta, who's 3 for 3 lifetime against Miley. Well, Arizona with a 31-17 record since the All-Star break, which is the second best record in the National League. And inside the division, the Dodgers have played well, especially of late, 27-20, and then the Rockies, Padres, and the Giants.
Yeah, the Brewers have 35 wins since the All-Star break. The Yankees at 32.
Brewers and Cardinals later on. Dodgers losing in the 8th inning in Washington 6-1. Kershaw did not get his 18th win yesterday. 4-3 loss.
Still will finish in the top 3 for Cy Young voting.
Top 3 or 4. And the reason I say that is right now for me, I'd have to put Ian Kennedy in the lead.
Number 1.
And then you have the duo in Philadelphia, Roy Halladay, Arvada West's own. Cliff Lee, I think, is in that mix also because of the number of shutouts.
But I just look at the team that those two pitchers are pitching on, with the Phillies 40 games over 500 and Clayton Kershaw with 18 wins, and where the Dodgers are currently located. That's why I would put him at number 3.
Two outs, nobody on. Esmil Rogers at .286 batting average. Esmil, whose brother's been hurt this year, but plays for Reno, AAA affiliate of the Arizona Diamondbacks, and is hoping to get healthy for postseason play. Talking to Esmil about that yesterday. That's inside. It's 3-0. Well, it's called a strike. Excuse me. 2-1.
The Reno Ball Club for Arizona clinched their first PCL North title just recently with Brett Butler as their manager.
At some point, Brett Butler is going to get an opportunity if he so desires. I know he likes working with the kids. He's really big on player development, but you would think he'd get an opportunity if he wanted it down the road.
But you could also still teach at the big league level. Does it mean that he's going to get to be a manager right away, or is it bench coach first, then a manager? His pedigree would lead it to where he could just become a manager if he wanted to. For as long as he's played what he's done down in the minor leagues.
Three balls, 2 strikes on Esmil Rogers. And Rogers smokes this ball turns Parra around twice, and it's a double for Rogers, flashing back to his days as a middle infielder. Gerardo Parra is an outstanding outfielder, and he was twisting like he was on a ride at Elitch's.
7th base hit for Rogers. This is just unbelievable, the way Parra gets turned around like a top. If he would have just turned and gone back, he would have caught that over his shoulder on his glove side.
And now the slugger's up. Dexter Fowler. Dexter takes ball 1. Here's what Dex did on a 2-0 pitch in the first inning. He got the barrel out and he hit it over the left field wall. His 3rd home run this year. Now he has a chance to give the Rockies the lead. That's in. 2-0.
The good thing is you have Rogers with above average speed out at second base.
Down on the ground to 3rd. And the throw across the diamond by Jeff Blum. So the Rockies get a 2-out double from their pitcher, Esmil Rogers. We'll go to the 3rd in the 1-1 game. Forward by AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. By McDonald's, brighten up your day with a free small premium roast coffee at McDonald's only until September 25th. I'm loving it. And by the Colorado Lottery, it's Mega Millions from the Colorado Lottery. Mega jackpots every Tuesday and Friday. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston, Alana Rizzo, Labor Day at Coors Field. Glad you're with us wherever you're taking in the ball game this afternoon. Hope the weekend has gone well. Rockies won and the Diamondbacks won. And in the top of the 3rd, Henry Blanco, Wade Miley, and Willie Bloomquist to face Esmil Rogers.
Come back off the road after 10 days. Come back to beautiful Coors Field.
Henry Blanco. It's kind of hard to do that, Huey. He's got 6 bombs, 9 ribbies.
I think it just means he has a lot of solo home runs.
Henry hit 2 in a ball game earlier this year. And if memory serves me correctly, tagged the Rockies.
Yes, he did. Early in the season.
So when Henry's around, he and Vinny Castilla can talk shop. As that misses, it's 3-0. And they all know the same guys.
Same age?
Yeah. Listen to the same music.
But there's value in a player and a catcher like Henry Blanco. Can still catch and throw, understands his role.
That misses. Guessmill stared in for a moment. He thought that was a strike. A couple of borderline pitches not called for a strike, and it's a 4-pitch walk. That'll bring up Wade Miley in a sacrifice situation. Well, later on, or you can start doing it right now, in fact, Toyota Talk in the 6th inning. So text Toyota followed by a space, and then your thoughts on, as we've done the last couple of days, we want your thoughts on baseball. Send them to 720-720. Miley, a hard bunt, and Rogers, who's a very good fielder, not surprisingly, he was a shortstop, unfortunately had to go to his knees to get that. Otherwise, you got a shot at Blanco at second.
It was almost like the play a couple nights ago when Rafael Betancourt snared the ball that was just to his left. Harder bunt. If that sneaks by Rogers, that's a base hit. Where Ellis was, and also Ty Wigington.
So the top of the order, and Willie Bloomquist, another one of those unsung guys for Arizona. He's had a fine season. He had a lengthy at bat before hitting a fly ball to right center field, tracked down by Dexter Fowler. Leading off the game, he takes a strike. Think about this. Willie Bloomquist has become more or less the everyday shortstop for the Diamondbacks on 2 occasions this year. Out of the gate when Stephen Drew had the oblique strain, and obviously over the last 5 or 6 weeks since Drew went down with that horrific ankle break, dislocation at home plate, and Arizona has a 7-game lead in the division.
And what's surprising for me with Willie Bloomquist, not just his average, what he's done offensively, but he's only made 3 errors. For a guy that has moved from the outfield to the infield and played some second base, but being asked to play shortstop every single day with just 3 errors.
And he twists one to right with an inside-out swing. Here comes the throw from Gonzalez to the plate. On time, on the money, out at the plate. What a throw by Cargo to cut down Henry Blanco. 12th outfield assist for Gonzalez. What a gorgeous throw.
We saw Matt Williams be very aggressive in the Arizona series down in Phoenix. But with Henry Blanco running, Carlos Gonzalez arm, 1 hop to Chris Iannetta.
You want to talk perfect? That's perfect.
Well, and you also had a hitter up next in Parra where it would be first and third. Tough guy to double up, but they challenged the arm, and a mistake it was.
Two outs, Parra at the plate.
And the long hop. It was not a short hop where Chris had to try to block it, catch it in between.
And Huey, you played a little bit of outfield in your career because of your versatility. He had to, it wasn't a line shot base hit right at him where you're just charging, picking up, crow hopping and firing. He had to work to his left to go get the baseball first.
And then change his momentum to make the throw coming home.
Well, you know Parra appreciated it on 2 fronts. One, because he's got the great arm, very good defensive outfielder, and he's very good friends with Cargo. They came up together in the minor leagues, both hail from Venezuela.
But that's another reason why Jim moved Carlos back to right field and not left field. We talk about left field here being very big, but the right fielder needs the strong arm. We saw it on that play.
Phenomenal. One and one on Parra. And the backdoor breaking ball misses. Slider just outside. 2-1. I like this guy at the plate, Huey. I think he's a very good baseball player. You look at his minor league numbers, he hit 300 at every stop.
He's just a tick below 300 at the big league level. 296. You've mentioned the outfield assists. We saw Gerardo make a running grab down the left field line in Phoenix. Can go get the ball in left center field, charging the ball.
Listen to this. His first year in the DSL, Dominican Summer League, Boca Chica, at 384. First year in the States in Missoula, 328. Next year, South Bend, 320. Visalia, 301. Mobile, 361. And he got called up and he hit 290 in 09 in 450 at bats with Arizona. Last year, in 364 at bats, he slipped a little bit. He was at 261. But again, you know, around 20 doubles, throws out half a dozen triples.
Bottom line, he can hit.
He can hit.
And
he can defend.
That's a lot of at bats. 600 to 700 at bats is the benchmark of where guys will end up. You're now talking between the major leagues and minor leagues over 2,400 at bats.
And overall, those numbers we threw at you, a 324 minor league hitter. I mean, that gets your attention.
And that's why he's in the big leagues. Hey fans, buy one, get one free suite special is still available through September on all private suites. Call 303-312-2444 for more information.
Three and two on Parra. Something else about Arizona this year. Not that they don't strike out, but it's not nearly to the level it was in the past, and it's not a veiled shot at Mark Reynolds, who hit a lot of home runs but struck out a lot. But there just seems to be more quality at bats up and down their lineup. Don Baylor now their hitting coach. And ball four. So Parra walks. That's the second walk allowed in the inning by Rogers, and now you have to deal with Upton. 1-1 ball game, 2 outs in the third. Windshield damage, call Safelite Auto Glass at 303-287-5000 or go to safelite.com. I was talking for a while with Justin Upton this morning, and I asked him about Esmil Rogers, and I said, you know, it's easy heat. And I said, is it straight? And he said, no. He said, I don't know if he realized it, but his ball cuts a lot, and sometimes it'll sink a little bit. He said when he figures it out and can hit both sides of the plate with consistency, he said he's going to be really tough to handle.
And also the ability to throw breaking pitches for strikes. Couple that all together, and that's why his arm is so intriguing.
That's the other thing that he said. He said it's easy heat. You know, there's no grunt.
Very smooth delivery.
And a shattered bat and a ground ball to short. Tulowitzki will go the long way. And Esmil Rogers works out of it. Got a little help from that right fielder, who will have gold in his glove again at the end of the season. Tacos. Fans, when the Rockies score 7 or more during any game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day. Do it between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies Tacos special. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell. 2, 3, and 4 for the Rockies in the 3rd inning against Wade Miley. And Mark Ellis takes ball 1. Update on Drew Pomerantz is Tulsa on the final day of the regular season taking on Northwest Arkansas. Is perfect through 7 innings. That's a strike. He has struck out 5. He's thrown 96 pitches, 64 for strikes. That may be all. That's just a guess.
Well, after coming back from the appendectomy surgery without having to be in a regular routine for that time that you were down.
This ball is well hit to left field, and this one's gone. Mark Ellis going deep for the 4th time. 2-1 Colorado.
Fourth home run for the Rockies, 5th overall. 4-seam fastball, excuse me. Ellis, like he's done with his other home runs here at Coors Field, pulls it to the left side. There's no doubt when that was hit. It was hit right on the line.
Carlos Gonzalez takes strike 1. Cargo had a base hit up the middle his first time. Hitting well above 360 in his young career against the club he came up with, the Diamondbacks. I should say his original organization. He never got to the big leagues in an Arizona jersey. He was traded to Oakland, the Dan Herron deal, and then ultimately, as you know, to the Rockies as part of the Matt Holliday transaction.
2 high-profile players.
Yeah, you don't get much more high profile than Herron on the hill and Holliday as a position player.
But finally found his home, and the talents are showing.
We saw him last inning defensively, didn't we?
Yeah, 11 outfield assist. Impressive.
He chased that breaking ball down. So that is strikeout number 3 for Miley. 1 out, and Tulowitzki will come up. He walked his first time. And it's fisted to 3rd. 2 outs.
Cut fastball on the hands to Troy.
Rockies up 2-1 as Kevin Kuzminoff comes up. Kuzminoff caught looking his first time. Rockies are 35 and 33 at home, 26 and 33 inside the West. This foul. 13 more home games, including the one they're partaking in right now.
They'll fall short of their last 2 years of their home record with 52 wins and 51 wins.
And I think for the Rockies, to be the 90+ win team that you hope to be year in and year out, contend for a division title and postseason, etc. They have to be, their equation always will be 50+ wins at Coors Field.
It has to be. The Milwaukee Brewers are 50 and 19 at home, and they're in first place.
Another strikeout from Miley, but the Rockies are playing long ball against Wade Miley. The top of the order, first Dexter Fowler, now Mark Ellis. 2-1 Rockies. Xcel Energy high efficiency inning. Second inning for Esmil Rogers. Aaron Hill hit a ground ball to third. Not a problem for Kevin Kuzminoff. Jeff Blum. And then Colin Cowgill. Good inning. Brought to you by Xcel Energy. Learn about energy efficiency and how to save energy and money in your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com. And the first pitch to Paul Goldschmidt misses, ball one. Goldschmidt hit a fly ball to right.
The number 4 spot in the batting order for the Diamondbacks has been in flux all year long. Chris Young has been there at times, but striking out too much. Trying the young Paul Goldschmidt now.
Goldschmidt will strike out a little bit, but like Chris Young, when he runs into one, he hits it a long way. Here's the 2-1, 3-1.
6 home runs for Goldschmidt.
See where he hit that one in San Francisco on Saturday?
My.
You're not supposed to hit him out there. That was more or less center field.
He was tearing up Double-A. He was the USA Minor League Player of the Year before his call-up.
He's also the Southern League Most Valuable Player this year.
Yeah, that would be pretty easy if you're already the USA Today Player of the Year to be the Southern League Player of the Year.
You would think. It's inside. Rogers has walked a third man. Leadoff walk to Goldschmidt. Aaron Hill coming up. AT&T trivia question. Well, Jose Reyes, Dexter Fowler, and Shane Victorino, the Flying Hawaiian, each have 15 or more triples. When was the last time 3 major league players had 15 or more triples in a season? Pulled foul by Hill. Now you look at that swing there, and Huey, put yourself back on the left side of the infield where you resided for most of your playing career. Well, you're not going to take a step to the left side. He hit the ball hard to third his first time.
Especially if I'm Kevin Kuzminoff, one more step towards the line. I would also move over a step if I was Troy in double play depth, but more shading the 5-6 hole. But Rogers also has to pitch to that spot. From that shot, you can tell that Mark Ellis had shifted towards second base. Aaron Hill, since he's come over to the Diamondbacks, he's at 225 in Toronto. Just shy of, or just over 270 now with Arizona, or 370.
That's kind of analogous to a certain degree over a longer period of time. Mark Ellis not hitting well in Oakland. He's hit the ball very well in Colorado. To third, down the line. We're talking about that. Kuzminoff off the line a few steps, and it's going to be a double for Aaron Hill. I mean, he had a pull approach. He had a pull approach in his first at bat, and he had a pull approach in that at bat. Second and third, nobody out.
5th double for Aaron Hill.
It's also an 8-game hitting streak now for Aaron Hill.
And just what I had mentioned a moment ago, slide a step over towards the line. You might be able to knock that baseball down.
Well, one of the reasons Arizona's been successful, they're scoring runs, getting the extra base hits. Second and third, nobody out. Rockies obviously conceding the run at this stage of the ball game. They're ahead 2-1. Jeff Blum at the plate.
And if you're Arizona, you like your chances with Blum. A pull hitter. Runners at second and third. And nobody out.
One ball, one strike. And that's a base hit left center field, and it's going to score 2. And the Diamondbacks take a 3-2 lead on the base hit by Jeff Blum. And he just doubled his RBI total for the year.
Up to 4 now for Blum. Well, when things are going well for you, you get these type of hits. He should have been looking for a ball that he could pull to drive in a run, hit it to the second baseman, move the runner over. Instead, he hits a ball to the opposite field, just over the head of Troy Tulowitzki, driving in 2 runs.
Collin COWGILL at the plate. Well, we have to make a correction, not to throw somebody else under the bus, but we get sometimes, like all of us, we're getting information online, and the minor league site that we were getting information on the Tulsa Northwest Arkansas game had Drew Pomerantz perfect through 7 innings. He was partially right. He was perfect through 3 innings. And then the Rockies had him on a pitch count. He was removed from the game, and Rob Scahill came in, and he was perfect the next 4. So Tulsa collectively had a perfect game through 7 innings, but Pomerantz only threw the first 3, and they had it on their site as Pomerantz was still pitching through 7 innings of play, which kind of surprised you and I a little bit because he's coming off the appendectomy. He hasn't been on the hill in a game in about 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, we heard.
Hey, listen, it's still great news.
Yeah, and we heard that he was somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 total pitches going into the game today. But you're right. To be able to throw at least 3 innings, 46 pitches, 31 of them for strikes. That is good news.
And I think it's a pretty good bet. You're going to see him in a Rockies uniform this September. Collin COWGILL at the plate. Or excuse me, COWGILL hit the fly ball to right. So Henry Blanco now at the plate. He walked his first time. 1 out. And that's a base hit to right center field for Blanco. And Cargo's going to cut it off. And Williams puts the late stop sign on Jeff Blum. These are just good at bats taken right now in the bottom portion of the order by Arizona.
Gap to gap. There's no pull mode going on with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Justin Upton hit his home run to right center field. Willie BLOOMQUIST single to right. He's a right-handed hitter. We've seen Jeff Blum take it the other way. Now Henry Blanco hit it to right center field. The approach is a professional approach.
Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. Conference is done, and with a 3-2 lead, See how tricky Kirk Gibson is here. Run on first. You can be conservative, lay down the bunt, go second and third in a perfect world for Arizona with 2 outs. Or you can put the slug bunt on. Comes out of the left side of the box. He's a good athlete. You could have him swing away and say, hey, he's going to beat it up the line. Won't be able to turn 2 on him. Let's see what they do. He squares and they put the bunt down.
Safety squeeze.
And they're going to get the out at the plate. Well, that looked like he broke right when the bunt was put down, didn't it, Jeff Blum?
But that's why it was a safety squeeze. It was not a straight squeeze, because if it's a straight squeeze, as soon as Rogers comes up with the arm and lets go of the baseball, he would take off. But he waits to see where the ball is and see if it's down. He's as far off as Kevin Kuzminoff is down the line. Rogers with the spin to get Blum.
And Chris Iannetta got his attention. He almost didn't recognize the break.
Well, he almost went straight to second base to try to get the double play 1-6-3.
Second runner the Rockies have thrown out at the plate. Gonzalez threw Blanco out at the plate in the 3rd inning. Oh, and 1 on Bloomquist. Arizona up 3-2. They've won 11 of 12. You're hitting .284 during those dozen ball games. Their pitching's been outstanding, a 1.60 ERA during the last dozen.
Well, as far back as July 20th, they were 4.5 games back in the division. The largest deficit for the Diamondbacks had been 6.5, and that was at the end of April. And San Francisco made the splashy trade for Carlos Beltran. Diamondbacks really just getting rid of Kelly Johnson and bringing in John McDonald and Aaron Hill.
Yeah, they haven't made huge trades. 1-2 the count on Bloomquist. Yeah, the worst they were this year was 15-22. 7 under 500, which you're 7 under 500, you think, boy, we're taking on water. But baseball players realize how long a season it is, and now here they are at 80-60, leading the National League West by 7 games on September the 5th.
16 games over 500 at home, 4 games out on the road. 38-34 road record.
2-2. Good block again by Iannetta. 3-2. Pitch count starting to elevate.
Everybody, seeing these 61 pitches, everybody in the bullpen is available, save Matt Lindstrom. He was questionable. But remember, there's 2 call-ups today to help bolster, and that would be Greg Reynolds and J.C. Romero.
Swung on and missed. Rogers strikes out Willie Bloomquist in the inning. A couple of runs for the Arizona Diamondbacks on a Jeff Blum single. 3-2 they lead. Toyota Talk coming up in the 6th inning, and there's room. If you haven't gotten a text in this year, there's plenty of room today. Get them in. Tell us what you think. You excited about Drew Pomeranz perhaps coming to the big leagues? Your thoughts on the first 5 months, what you'd like to see in the last month of the season. Anything on your mind concerning the Rockies, baseball in general? How surprised are you perhaps at where the Diamondbacks are? Does it in a strange way make you feel good that, hey, you know, teams that are counted out in spring training, not so fast necessarily? Wigginton fouls that off.
Happy to see the Giants falling off.
I would think for Rockies fans there would be probably some unanimity in that. Wigginton, a career .371 hitter against Arizona, and he's going to have that average increase. An 0-2 base hit off Wade Miley. So the Rockies have the tying run aboard in the 4th. Spielborg struck out his first time up.
Ryan in his first appearance back for the Rockies. A couple days ago, 1 for 4 with an RBI, double down the line against the Padres. Corey Lupke, their left-hander.
This is pulled to third. There's 1 and there's 2. Ryan out on his front side again on that off-speed pitch. 5-4-3 double play. Chris Iannetta coming up. Two and 0.
Changeup. Part of the reason why Miley was the Diamondbacks minor league pitcher of the year last year. 2.65 ERA for the season.
3-1. Chris, since the All-Star break, hitting .290, which is 3rd best among National League catchers. Carlos Ruiz at .331. Yadier Molina's hit .320 in the second half, and right behind Iannetta at .289 is the guy getting an off day today, Miguel Montero. Under Blanco doing the catching this afternoon for Arizona. So Wade Miley issues his 2nd walk of the day. Chris Iannetta leading the club in walks, and that'll clear Esmil Rogers. Or it'll give Esmil a chance to drive the ball over an outfielder's head again. He threw one out over Gerardo Parra's head for a double in the 2nd inning.
Well, either way, it works out fine for the Rockies. 65 walks for Iannetta.
This was a rocket he hit to left.
And Gerardo Parra will tell you the same thing. Spin around.
Yeah, dinner's up for grabs among the starting pitchers. Who has the most hits among the starting rotation? Chacin has 9, and Rogers has 7. Jason Hamill has 7. Hamill's going to go tomorrow. Chassin's been pushed back. Well, see, he hit one over Parr's head. Now he's trying to hit one over the fence and left.
But Rogers would. I know he doesn't have the same amount of hits as the other guys, but he's had only 22 at bats this year. From the time he spent out in the bullpen and on rehab on the DL.
Well, he's your basic 300 hitter. 308, right?
318 now. You're cheating him out of 10 points.
My bad. Inett at first, 2 outs, 1-1 count on Rogers. And it's hit pretty hard, but handled by the shortstop Bloomquist. He'll go the short way. Rockies done in the 4th. We move to the 5th. Arizona leading 3-2. Labor Day in Denver. Let's check in again with Alana Rizzo with today's Fast Cash Sideline Report. It's brought to you by Fast Cash Gold Centers, where you'll always get 40% more for your gold. Alana.
All right, guys. Oftentimes, relief pitchers regard themselves as the toughest pitchers in the game because they have to come into the game when it is on the line. But there is a tradition across Major League Baseball that makes it very difficult for these guys to look tough at the beginning of the game. I have a lot of fans asking me about why the rookie relievers are wearing backpacks. Well, it's because you're a rookie. That's the very reason. You get Dora the Explorer, you get some unicorns. If you're in San Diego, you have Yoda on your back. Here in Arizona, they do it as well. It's just part of the deal, guys. When you're a rookie reliever, you head out to the pen. You have to pack the backpack with snacks and water for the rest of the relieving corps. It's a sign of the times that you've made it to the big leagues, but you're still a rookie, and we're going to make you do silly things. Veterans often buy the backpacks for the rookies, and the rookies are just hoping and praying that somebody younger with less service time and less experience comes up so they can hand off the backpack. And Huey, I want to ask you about it. I know you were a position player. What type of rookie hazing did you get when you came up to the bigs?
Well, just the normal where you had to wear something different to the airport. And I'll just leave it at that. But I remember when I started the job here in the broadcasting, I used to have to carry Drew's bag everywhere.
It's a Mickey Mouse bag, though. It's not that embarrassing. Mickey's kind of a mainstream character. Gerardo Parra takes strike 1. Upton and Goldschmidt will follow. They had a cross-up. Iannetta going out to talk to Rogers.
Gerardo Parra this year against the Rockies, a .341 average, 15 for 44.
Well, again, Arizona has won 11 of the 15 meetings this year between the two clubs. That's outside. Good changeup. 1-2. Boy, catcher goes down and block that baseball, and he knows there's probably a 50-50 chance going to hit flesh.
And the wrist, where there's not much meat.
Just missed. 3-2. Arizona with 22 to play, Jeff, 7 games up. They need to have a monumental collapse, kind of like the Mets did against the Phils a few years ago when they were up by 7 with 17 left, not to win the division. And of their next 16 games, they're all against teams currently below 500.
Well, and they also have a series left with San Francisco, September 23rd through the 25th down at Chase, and the season might already be decided by then.
Could very well be. And you look back last year on this date, 22 games remaining. The Padres, where Giants were tied 2.5 games up. The Dodgers led by 3.5 in 09. 08, the Dodgers led by a half a game. Last year, the Giants caught the Padres on the final day of the season.
Well, Arizona, after this series, go back to Phoenix for 4 games against San Diego. Quick trip to LA and San Diego, and then 9 games at home, starting with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
I think the interesting thing about that graphic is here's Arizona, the surprise team in the National League, and it's a team that, of all those records up there, they have the second best record to the 09 Dodgers through 140 games. The Dodgers had 83 wins through 140. Runner going, swung on and missed by Upton. Throw to second is not in time. A stolen base for Parra.
11th stolen base on the season for Gerardo. But it was a high leg kick from Rogers that allowed Parra to take off. Straight steal, no looking back, head towards the prize, and that prize was second base. Bent leg slide, grab the bag as you go over the top of it.
1-1 on Upton. A home run in the first, a broken bat ground ball to short in the third, and a line drive base hit. Parra is going to stop at third. He had to see that one through the infield. So it's first and third, nobody out.
Well, back-to-back innings for Rogers where he's walked the leadoff hitter. Last inning, Paul Goldschmidt comes around to score with the walk and stolen base. Parra goes to third base on the base hit by Justin Upton.
He's walked 4 in the game. Let's make it very, very difficult.
You just put extra runners out.
He's given up 6 hits also. So now you're talking about 10 base runners in 4+ innings.
But you also make it more difficult on your club as far as how do you play this inning. You're down by a run. You have to play back for the double play, but you do that, you concede the run, you will fall down by 2 runs. All the little nuances of the game come into play.
Well, what Rogers has not done in this ball game is accumulate some strikeouts. He has just 1. Normally when Rogers is on, he will get punch-outs. In his young career, he has struck out close to 8 hitters per 9 innings, or almost 1 an inning.
4 strikeouts in his last start against Arizona, 7 in the start before against the Dodgers.
And this is a situation in a perfect world that would call for a punch out, and then you have a chance, if you can get a ground ball behind it, to get out of the inning unscathed. To your point about having to play the infield back naturally, double play depth with nobody out. Greg Reynolds, again, just brought to the big leagues again. That 4 times this year he's been back and forth. 1-1.
Greg with the short hair this time.
Almost didn't recognize him.
Saw him in the dugout prior to today's ball game. Hey, you had your hair cut. Change things up. Foul ball.
1-2 on Paul Goldschmidt. And J.C. Romero also brought back.
J.C. gives Jim Tracy that third left-hander in the pen. To ease back some of the workload that the 2 guys in Matt Reynolds and Rex Brothers have gone through this year.
Two and two. You don't want to miss up with this guy in the strike zone.
Well, he has the strength to hit it to Fort Collins.
He's got 6 home runs, 93 at bats. And he struck him out with a slider. So there's the strikeout he was looking for. And that'll bring up Aaron Hill.
Probably the best slider that Rogers has thrown today. Depth and action going away from the right-handed hitter.
Aaron Hill, a hard ground ball to third, and then a hard ground ball down the third base line for a double.
Have to get rid of the ball quickly if you're going to turn 2 on Hill. Even for a guy that is hitting from the right side, he can still move it down the line to first.
You got Upton, who's got 20 bags at first, and now with 1 out, more of a running situation. CenturyLink high-speed pitch. Wade Miley 92 miles an hour this afternoon. Esmil Rogers 95.
Hill 3 for 5 the last 2 times he has faced Rogers. First time down in Arizona, 1 for 2 today.
And Upton at first, 20 out of 27 stealing bases. He takes off. Throw to second is in time to get Upton. No movement by Parr at third. That is out number 2. So Chris Iannetta can really throw.
Not even a look down to third base to keep Parra there throwing through the whole time. Swipe tag. Right on the money. Over 31% of the base runners have been thrown out by Chris.
And now a great opportunity for Rogers to get out of this inning without giving up a run. Runner on third, 2 outs, a 3-0 count on Hill. Second and third, or excuse me, first and third, nobody out a moment ago. And the strikeout of Goldschmidt. And the caught stealing Ionetta to Ellis. And the last 10 days, Aaron Hill, along with El Caballo and David Wright. And it's popped up and playable right up the elevator shaft, basically. Ionetta battling the sun will make the catch. Rogers punches a fist into the glove. It remains a 3-2 ball game as we go to the bottom of the 5th at Coors Field. Let's take a look at our AT&T trivia question. Dexter Fowler will be first this inning. Prior to this year, when was the last time the major leagues had 3 players with 15 or more triples in the same season? You have to go all the way back to 1984. Juan Samuel had 19. Ryan Sandberg had 19. Davey Collins, former Rockies coach. Look at this. This could be triple territory, but it's going to be cut off by Miley, and safe at second base with a double is Dexter Fowler. He calls timeout, and he's going to unravel with Aaron Hill. Tell you what, if Cowgill's not playing so deep, that's going to be a triple.
But also watch Cowgill, when he reaches the baseball, he doesn't even grab it with his glove. He grabs it with his bare hand and spins and throws. The dive and reach back by Aaron Hill at second base. Dexter Fowler, leg going in hard to the bag, reach back and hang on.
You see Dexter extending with that leg. He realized it was going to be close. But Dexter safe at second, safe and secure. New York life. Home run and a double for Fowler today after triple, single, single yesterday. Double, single, double 2 days ago. Pitch to Mark Ellis in there for a strike. And then Dexter in the first game of that series in San Diego had a triple.
Ankle still bothering Dexter from yesterday when he turned it rounding second base.
Well, good. You know what? Go kick him in that ankle because it's working out with the bat. I mean, you know what? You go back to the last game in Arizona, he had a double and a home run. The game before that, he had a home run. And the game before that, his first game in Arizona, he was 0 for 5. So, a little math here on the fly as we chit chat. 0 2 on Ellis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 straight games with at least 1 extra base hit.
And they've been right-handed and left-handed.
Down low, 1 and 2. Mark Ellis, speaking of extra base hits, got to trot around the bases his last time up. So nobody out. Fowler at second, representing the tying run. 3-2 ball game in the 5th. Fastball inside, 2 and 2. Gonzalez on deck.
Miley likes to throw the changeup after he's come inside with the fastball. So the hitter's thinking, I don't want to get beat inside. Start your swing earlier, but he counters it with the changeup, and he goes back, doubles up with the fastball. But that's because Henry Blanco is behind the plate.
Three and 2 on Mark Ellis. And ball 4. So now 2 on for Carlos Gonzalez. Third walk allowed by Miley. Both teams with 6 hits. Well, the Rockies sensing an opportunity here. They're in the right part of the lineup. Cargo with runners in scoring position, hitting .354, which is second best in the National League to Joey Votto. He's hitting .402. Those two guys finished in the top 3 in the MVP voting last year. Votto won it. Cargo is third. Ball 1. Center fielder COWGILL. Oh, about 5 yards to the pull side toward right center field.
And he also brought Parra with him in left center field.
And Cargo bounces it to first. Goldschmidt for 1, and that's all they'll get. First and third, 1 out. Tulowitzki 0 for 1 and a walk.
Looking back at the game when Miley pitched against the Rockies, Troy in a similar situation was aggressive on the first pitch. Miley threw him a changeup. He popped up to second base. See if Troy makes the adjustment. He challenged him.
Yeah, he did challenge him, but he missed down, so it's 1-0.
40 RBIs since the break for Troy. It's the most in the National League. Matt Kemp second with 38.
Cargo stretches out his lead a half step. Not going, and it's fisted to first, double play. And the Rockies come up empty in the 5th inning. They waste that leadoff double by Dexter Fowler. By E470, find E470 on Facebook and Twitter for details on how to win free tolls. Well, the road ahead is actually the homestand ahead. Arizona's here through Wednesday, Thursday, and off day, and then the Reds will be in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. No television Saturday. Originally, it was scheduled to be a nationally televised ball game that was removed from the Fox slate, but we're not able to televise it because it is in what is known as the national television window, so no TV on Saturday. Esmil Rogers on the hill, working to Jeff Blum here in the 6th inning. Blum hitting in the 6th spot in the order. He had a 2-run single his last time up to remove a 2-1 deficit for Arizona and push them in front 3-2. That's where we stand right now.
Rogers working into the 6th inning. He's tossed at least 6 innings in his last 3 starts.
Great outing again for Drew Pomeranz. He's scheduled to come here tomorrow to work out with the Rockies. Let's see where he goes from here. This ball's long gone to right field. Second deck shot for Jeff Blum, his 2nd home run of the year, and Arizona has a 4-2 lead.
And now 3 RBIs on the day for Blum. No doubt about this shot off the bat.
Changeup.
Flat changeup, no action. Bell high.
What did we say earlier in the broadcast? What was Chris Young telling us? That this season has been about everybody contributing, not just the guys you'd expect to. And today, case in point, Arizona right now, latter portion of the game, second half of the game, if you will. They have a 4-2 lead. Jeff Blum, who's been hurt for the whole year, has 3 of the 4 runs batted in.
And they also get out of last inning with a leadoff double, 1st and 3rd, 1 out, line drive right to the first baseman. He catches his steps on the bag, inning over. But you make your breaks at times in this game. And the Arizona Diamondbacks are making their breaks this season.
Another point that Young was making and Upton was making, the bullpen has been so good for Arizona this year, in contrast to a year ago, that it helps the offense. In that last year, even when they had a seemingly comfortable 3 or 4 run lead, getting to the latter third of the ball game, it wasn't the feeling like, hey, this one's already in the hip pocket. And so there were more high tension at bats, if you will. And both those guys felt like this year, because they've been putting those games down, this is in the air to center field, that a lot of times they'll add on because they're a little freer in the 6th, 7th inning when they come up with a 3 or 4 run lead.
Makes it easier to hit when your team is first in the National League in saves, total 49 saves. They're also 73-0 leading after 8 innings. There's 2 other teams that are also undefeated. One would be the Red Sox at 71-0. And the Detroit Tigers at 69-0.
Yeah, great point. And it's good to see Dexter as hot as he is. I know we had a question about Jorge De La Rosa. And De La Rosa's around the clubhouse every day when the Rockies are in town, and his rehabilitation is going very well. Ahead of schedule right now, but not at the point where you're throwing yet.
And that will determine where he is in his progress. Hey, Tanner, you're right. Dex did it again.
Well, he has the ability to be one of the top flight center fielders in the game. And his challenge will be to do it over the course of an entire season. He's been brilliant in the second half. Last year he was very good after being sent out. But each of the last 3 years he's had to have a refresher course.
And I like Troy Tulowitzki's comment when Alana was doing the open, the soundbite from Troy, saying the same thing. We need him all year long to be that leadoff hitter. But Troy, again, being candid with his assessment. Denying the tools for Dexter Fowler.
See if they put the butt back on for Miley. And Josh Renicky now throwing for the Rockies. Close. Toyota Talk will continue in the post-game show. Three and one. Now if Rogers loses Miley, I had to figure Jim Tracy's going to make a move. Top of the order coming up.
It would also be the fourth time that Willie Bloomquist would get a look at this man.
It could happen either way, even if he's able to retire him. See if they send the runner. They do not. It's 3-2. It's been a strength of Arizona also. Their pitching staff, 51 hits, 30 RBIs this year. Those are franchise bests. And they have the best hitting staff, at least statistically, in the National League.
Compare that to Colorado, who has 13 RBIs from their pitching staff.
Ball four. That is 5 walks for Rogers, and that'll be all as he walks the pitcher. Cowgill to second. Jim Tracy on his way to the hill. And J.C. Romero has joined Renicky. Josh coming into the ball game. Arizona's taken a 4-2 lead. A home run by Jeff Blum. Kids will be heading off to college. I hope you're preparing now. You need to. College, as we all know, is very, very expensive. The best way to do it is through College Invest. And you can set up an account very quickly by going to collegeinvest.org. I know we've done it in our household. Started it many years ago. And I know that'll ease the burden down the road. collegeinvest.org. Check them out online. Mill Rogers out of the ball game here in the 6th inning with 1 out. A run already in. There are 2 runners on base. Top of the order, Willie Bloomquist and Josh Renicky, who's been a real pleasant. I don't want to. It's unfair to call somebody a surprise, a big leaguer, but you know, Josh Renicky has been a nice addition here in the second half of the season to that Rockies bullpen.
Well, he'll give you the innings that you need. He comes in. He's a strike thrower. Obviously, with a 0 ERA, get much better than that. Fly fastball and a real hard slider. That looked more like the get me over curveball. 75. His slider normally is 82 to 84 miles an hour.
And Bloomquist is behind 0-2. Every member of the Arizona lineup has reached today, and it's the 6th inning.
They've just worn pitching staffs down with the approach. Take the walk if they give it to you. Today, Rogers with 5 of them.
And look at that. Talk about approach. Keep it in play. Roll it to the right side. Cargo's not going to have a play. And COWGILL scores the 5th Arizona run. That'll be charged to Rogers.
Another base hit for Willie Bloomquist to right field. Slider with a little spin on it, but behind in the count. Bloomquist slicing it to Carlos. Different speed this time with Collin COWGILL instead of Henry Blanco.
You know, I think Arizona is. It's been the perfect storm this year. You have some established guys, even though Justin Upton's still a very young player. He's established himself as an upper echelon player, certainly offensive player in the big leagues. Chris Young's been around a while. He doesn't hit for a high average, but he's going to steal bases. He's going to hit home runs. Stephen Drew, who's hurt now, has established himself as I think, an upper third shortstop, especially the way he swings the bat. Good two-way player. And then you have guys who have something to prove. Tulowitzki throwback. I like that play. Trying to get Miley taking a wide turn at third. 2 outs as Parra hits into the force play. And that'll bring up Upton.
But not hit hard enough where Mark Ellis and Troy could turn two. Bloomquist hard takeout of Troy at second base. Going out wide, trying to whip the leg. Troy spin back to get the pitcher napping, rounding third.
But you need that combination. And Arizona's got a bunch of guys who play with a chip on their shoulder. Ryan Roberts, Willie Bloomquist, Gerardo Parra. Guys with something to prove. Here's Upton.
But they've also used some of that to their advantage. Or if something bad happens in a game, they turn it around and use it as positive energy. Think back to the Arizona series down in Phoenix. Rockies hit Justin Upton. What does Arizona do? Turn around, score 3 or 4 runs. Yesterday, Justin Upton gets tossed in the 4th inning. They score 4 runs late in the game. It's not a pity party. Oh, how are we going to lose this game? They use it to their advantage. How are we going to win this game? And that's the difference, the fine line between winning and losing at the major league level.
Well, they've been on the right side of it this year. 20 games over 500, and they're up here. And Upton gets hit again.
Break-it pitch, though.
17 times, I believe, this year, Justin Upton has been hit by a pitch. So now the bases are loaded for Paul Goldschmidt. If you've watched the Rockies night in and night out, looking forward to 2012, one area that has to dramatically change is what's taken place on the hill, and by and large from a starting standpoint. On the ground, fair.
down the third base line. That'll score at least 2. Upton is going to get a green light. He's going to turn it on, and he's going to score. The throw to the plate, not there. Throw to third is in time. It is a 3-run double for Goldschmidt. And Arizona has an 8-2 lead. Today, Root Sports looking for the biggest baseball fans in Utah. If you live in Utah and you can't get enough baseball, we want you to share your photos and be featured during our broadcast. To enter, visit our website at rockymountain.rootsports.com. I know there's a ton of baseball fans over in Utah. Great baseball state, good college baseball state with BYU and the University of Utah, the 2 biggest programs. Salt Lake City, been a AAA affiliate for a number of years. Great baseball state. Kevin Towers played at BYU, the general manager of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Wally Joyner.
Corey Snyder.
Corey Snyder was there. Also, was a pretty good football player in Provo around that time by the name of Jim McMahon. Kevin Kuzmin off to face Wade Miley in what has turned into an 8-2 deficit for the Rockies. Eight runs, 10 hits for Arizona. Giants in the 4th inning leading 3-1 at Petco.
Rockies are also fortunate it's not more than 8-2. Carlos Gonzalez throwing out Henry Blanco at the plate.
There's a squeeze that the Rockies got an out at the plate.
Justin Upton was thrown out trying to steal with a runner in 3rd and 1 out. He was caught out of that inning without another run.
One and two. What a beautiful crowd today. 40,342 on Labor Day. And the Rockies, thank you. It's been a tough year, but the fans have been very, very supportive. Kevin Kuzminoff thrown out by Jeff Blum, 1 out.
Hey, you can still follow the Rockies with MLB.com at bat. 2011 app. Get highlights and more. So text at bat to 31826.
Well, this young lady, you know what? She knows that she's cooling herself off. Look at that. And I think now she's going to take a drink.
It's okay. Spray some more. Spray some more.
Yeah.
Wipe the forehead.
adorable. How about that? And Wigginton to Blum. 2 outs. Spilborgh's coming to the plate. Ryan's 0 for 2. The Rockies, on their last homestand, had their best homestand of the year. They went 7-2. They've won 5 straight at home coming into this ball game.
They swept Houston to end that homestand.
Speaking of Houston, the Pirates beat them today 3-1. And on the ground to second. Easy play, Aaron Hill. And Wade Miley, 3 ground balls in a quick 6th inning. We'll move to the 7th, 8-2 Arizona. Well, in the first inning with 2 outs, Justin Upton drove a pitch out from Esmil Rogers to right field, his 27th of the year. But the Rockies got the run right back. Dexter Fowler, who has been absolutely unbelievable of late, with his 3rd home run of the year. He tied it up. Then the Rockies in the 3rd inning would take a 2-1 lead. Mark Ellis going deep. His 4th home run in a Colorado uniform. But from that point on, it has been all about Arizona. Jeff Blum had a 2-run single, then he had a home run, his 2nd of the year. Rogers would soon depart. Josh Renicky would come on and give up a 3-run double to Paul Goldschmidt. And the Rockies have made a double switch. So Eric Young's in the ball game for Spilborghs, who made the final out. And Greg Reynolds, who was up, down, and now up again. Right now, this is more of a mop-up role unless the Rockies can get back in it offensively. So Greg will come into the ball game here to pitch the top of the 7th and perhaps beyond as we get more on Greg Reynolds from Alana Rizzo. Alana?
All right, Drew, thanks very much. Jim Tracy said Greg Reynolds would be here to serve as the long man in the Rockies bullpen for the remainder of the season. And honestly, that could be a role that he has to be in permanently if the Rockies choose not to put him back in the starting rotation going forward. I talked to Greg earlier today about that thought of being the long man for the Rockies permanently. He said, you know what, number 1, I'm putting ego aside. Number 2, I will do whatever it takes to help this team win. He said, of course, it changes my preparation. Coming out of the pen, you have to throw strikes right away. Sometimes you're coming in with the game on the line, so you have to pitch out of the stretch. You don't have that time to warm up like you do as a starter generally. He said, but I'm okay with it. Whatever it takes to keep me up here is what I want to do. And you guys were talking about his hair earlier. I asked him, why'd you cut the hair? He said, it's time to grow up, guys.
That's interesting. Greg Reynolds is a mature kid. He's always been a good self-evaluator. He's never quite been the same after the shoulder injury of a couple of years ago. I mean, he moved very quickly through the Rockies system after being the 2nd pick in the draft in 2006. But honestly, he hasn't been the same type of guy the Rockies saw when he was at Stanford.
And you never know how an arm is going to react after having surgery on it. Some guys come back. Shoulder is always a more tricky proposition. 5th time up this year for Greg. 3 starts, 4 relief appearances.
Whoa, a rocket to third. Kuzminov just robbed Aaron Hill.
Stay low to the ground and you can move whatever way you need to. This time, Kuzminov needed to move vertically. Up off the ground, snagged the line drive.
He has pulled every baseball he has swung at in this game. Jeff Blum has been the hitting star, one of the hitting stars certainly, for Arizona. 2 for 3, 2-run single and a solo home run his last at bat. Book on Esmil Rogers. He goes 5 1/3. He gives up 6 runs, 8 hits, 5 walks, and a pair of strikeouts. That's 13 base runners and 5 1/3.
Not too many walks. Not enough pitches when there was traffic. Not enough quality pitches, I should say. And that will be a question for the rest of this year and this offseason. Does he fit into the rotation? Is he a long man? Is he a pin guy? Where does Rogers fit?
Well, to work in the pen, you have to throw consistent strikes. That's another base hit for Blum. $11 hits for Arizona.
Qual Paint and the Rockies want to thank the fans on September 18th with a Troy Tulowitzki t-shirt to the first 10,000 fans and special giveaways during the ball game as part of the Salute the Fans week.
You know, it's a nice story in Toronto. Remember when the Rockies were up in Toronto a few years ago, Huey? And Dustin McGowan completely shut them down. Good-looking young pitcher, former #1 pick. That wasn't good other than for Dustin McGowan and Toronto. But the reason I bring that up is there were a lot of Rockies hitters who came away after that ball game saying, wow, this guy's stuff is electric. He hurt his shoulder. He had 2 surgeries after that. He has not been in the big leagues since mid-2008. He got called back to the big leagues today. Talk about a long road.
And an empty road. At times when you're rehabbing, you feel like a ghost. People will say hi to you, but you can't help me win a ball game that day. So you just go about your business. And you want to be out on the field so bad. You're programmed to be a ball player. And when it's taken away, there's a helpless feeling. And Brandon Webb, the longtime pitcher for the Diamondbacks. He's tried to come back numerous times. Looks like he's done.
I'll never forget, it was really a ball game against the Rockies.
Opening day.
Opening day. Had to walk off the mound. Something wasn't right, and it hasn't been right since.
You just never know when that might be your last game.
You're talking about Brandon Webb. He was one of the 3 best starting pitchers in the National League for about a 3-year period. Won a Cy Young.
22 wins that season.
I mean, his sinker was ridiculous. His sinker just didn't induce ground balls. It was a swing and miss sinker.
It sunk about 1.5 feet.
Now a walk by Greg Reynolds to Collin Cowgill. 2 on. And Henry Blanco's up. And it's just been a traffic jam out there.
1 inning today. The 2nd inning where it was 1-2-3.
The Rockies have walked 6. They've given up 11 hits. And they've hit a batter. That's 18 base runners in 6 1/3.
And only 2 strikeouts.
Henry Blanco swings and misses. And everybody in the Arizona lineup, I said earlier, everybody's reached twice in the Arizona lineup, with the exception of Aaron Hill, who doubled and then was just robbed of maybe another double on that leaping catch to begin the inning by Kevin Kuzminoff.
And also hit the ball hard his first time up to third base.
Yes, he did. And he's the only guy who hasn't been on twice. One pitch, trying to work back the sinker over the outside corner. It missed. 2-1. 3-1 on Blanco, and that misses. Ball 4, and now the bases are loaded. Bob Apodaca will have to go to the mound. Wade Miley's coming up. Single and 2 walks. Well, we wanted to welcome back an old friend. We didn't really miss him, but he's back, and so we feel obligated to say hello to him. There he is, hiding behind the camera. Sam Herniason. Yeah. We only kid the people we love, Sammy.
We'll talk about players being out with injuries. Sam had a little rotator cuff injury he had to have taken care of. He's got that brace on his arm.
It's a sympathy brace. He's fine. All kinds of contraptions on. I'll tell you what, between him and Marino, our crack statistician here, they got more braces than the entire NFL has. This is fouled off by Miley, 1-1. Dougie just came off the DL.
Bad back.
Yeah, bad back. He had back surgery. Still seeing the acupuncturist? You want Huey to administer the acupuncture next time?
I'll do it next time. You sure?
Huey's an expert.
And Walgreens called. They want their back brace back.
That's in there. 1-2.
A couple of those 5 for 11s are with 2 outs. Goldschmidt last inning.
Miley jumps out of the way, just inside, 2-2. And a ground ball to short. Tulowitzki for 1 on to first. Safe there. Miley got up the line and gets an RBI out of the deal as Jeff Blum scores. First RBI of his major league career. 9-2 Arizona.
Unfortunately not hit hard enough for Troy and Mark Ellis to turn 2. Miley hitting from the left side. Step closer to the bag, beats it by a half step. Did he go over the top of the bag?
Let's see. There's one. Wade, I know you're a pitcher. Did he scrape it with his toe on the back foot?
He was out there.
Well, he would have been out. I'm just curious if he touched it at all. He should have been out. I mean, he didn't come close.
No.
Right center field. Dexter's going to get there. Willie Bloomquist is retired. Another run for Arizona in the 7th. They have a 9-2 lead. Stretch time at Coors Field, and on this Labor Day we stick around for God Bless America, and in special recognition of our military, USAA now presents today's presentation of God Bless America. First Lieutenant Jason Plosh.
Please rise as we honor our great country by the performance of God Bless America. Performing God Bless America today is the Deputy Commander of the United States Air Force Academy Band, First Lieutenant Jason Plosh. Please welcome First Lieutenant Plosh and join him by singing along to God Bless America.
And 11. Rockies with a lot of work to do. They had a 2-1 early lead. It is now 9-2. Arizona, bottom of the 7th inning at Coors Field. And Chris Iannetta will hit first against Wade Miley. Miley in search of his 3rd victory in his 4th major league start. And a chance to beat the Rockies in consecutive appearances.
Much like his first outing against the Rockies, struggled early on, found the groove late.
Two-strike count on Iannetta. Chris 0 for 1 and a walk. Instead of hitting .316 at home this year, .265 in his career at Coors Field.
3 for 3 off Miley the first time he faced him. 1 for 1 today.
And Miley pulls the string and gets another strikeout. That's his 5th.
The first 25,000 fans at the game on Friday, game against the Cincinnati Reds, September 9th, will receive a Rockies reward coupon that includes a special offer from Brakes Plus.
First at bat for Eric Young. He stepped in a double switch last inning. Spilborghs went out. UI at 224. And he takes ball 1. Junior just 1 for his last 16 at the plate. And this is in the air to Parra in fairly deep left field. He's going to get there though. Two gone, and Dexter Fowler has given the fans a little bit to shout about today. A home run in the first and a scorching double to left center in the 5th. Among the league leaders in extra base hits since the All-Star break, with his teammate Troy Tulowitzki, with guys like Justin Upton. He's in pretty good company in the second half. First inning against Wade Miley. 2-0 pitch. And he got it. Former high school All-American. Got a 2-0 here. 2-1. So right now, Tulowitzki and Fowler, since the All-Star break, leading the National League, 29 extra base hits each. Ryan Braun, Albert Pujols with 28. I think you've heard of those two guys. And also Justin Upton with 28.
And now Dexter is alone on the Rockies as far as extra base hits goes in 3rd place.
Now, if I gave you the 5 names, Tulowitzki, Fowler, Braun, Pujols, Upton, you'd be hard-pressed as a casual baseball fan to say, well, what category are they all atop the league in? That's strike 3. And Dexter's gone. And shockingly, and good for Dexter and good for the Rockies, it is extra base hits in the second half. He's been sensational. 9-2 Arizona. We're off to the 8th. Summary. It's brought to you by Ecotech Institute in Denver, where you can make the world your workplace. Game started out okay for the Rockies. Through 3 innings, they had a 2-1 lead. With an Esmil Rogers touch for 2 in the 4th, and a combination of Rogers and Josh Renicky gave up 5 in the 6th. And you get the picture. It has been all Arizona since the first third of the ball game. They're up 9-2. Greg Reynolds' second inning of work, and that's a line drive right to Mark Ellis. Gerardo Parra is retired.
Right place at the right time for Ellis as far as positioning goes. No struggles for Upton this year versus the Rockies. A 404 batting average, 5 home runs, 19 RBIs.
Which is kind of a contrast for Justin, because he has typically struggled against the Rockies. He had poor numbers at Coors Field in his career until this year. Well, the Yankees are now 2.5 games up, Jeff, on the Red Sox in the American League East. One of the few good races in baseball. They win 11-10 against Baltimore. They withstand 17 hits today. Freddie Garcia got beat around pretty well early in that ball game. The Yankees eventually win it 11-10 to Shera and Cano home runs.
Boston, if it were to end today, would play the Texas Rangers, who they do not match up well against.
Well, they lost 1-0 to Toronto today. Maybe the bigger news is this is a long foul ball. The bigger news in that ball game, Josh Beckett left in the 4th inning. He twisted his ankle. And you hope for the Red Sox nation, that that's not a serious injury. Talking to Justin today about his brother BJ, asked him how he's doing, and it's tough. I mean, BJ was the center of a lot of trade rumors earlier this year. Iannetta's going to have a chance here. And also, he's playing for a really talented Tampa team again that, unfortunately for them, they play in the American League East. They're well over 500 again.
13 games.
13 games, but they're 9.5 back, and they're going to get to go home. And if they're in any other division, they're in the thick of things.
With a big turnover in their pitching staff this year compared to last year. A lot of free agents left.
I think it's really hard for players down in Tampa. An exciting team, well managed by Joe Madden. Great young roster, and they keep bringing up players. I mean, they lose players and they bring another good player to the big leagues, and seemingly another high quality pitcher. 0-1 on Goldschmidt. Yet night in and night out, they're playing in front of empty seats. You almost think that if knowing the area a little bit there, if they were on the other side of the bridge. There's a line drive to third. Goldschmidt's gone, and that's it for Arizona. They'd have a chance to draw better. It's very difficult getting over there.
They're only 6 games over 500 at home.
Ellis, Carlos Gonzalez, Troy Tulowitzki against Zach Duke here in the 8th inning. Who Wants Tacos? Fans, if you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies score 7 or more runs for the Rockies Tacos special, text the keyword taco to 720-720. Feed your Rockies fever. Only at Taco Bell. It's a nice way to enjoy the ball game. Cold drink, umbrella, colorful one at that, to keep the sun off of you. Here's the former starter, Zach Duke, now making his living working out of the bullpen.
Yeah, 9 starts this year as a starter for Zach Duke, but an ERA very high, so they moved him to the bullpen. He did earn his first career save against the Rockies back on July 24th, 4 innings of scoreless work.
Mark Ellis tonight, or today, is 1 for 2 and a walk. He had a home run back in the 3rd inning. Mark will be a free agent at the end of the season.
And that will be another topic of conversation. And only because of the amount of money he's making this year. Where does that fit into the whole slot system? I joined the Rockies on the last home game of the season. That's September 21st for fan appreciation, and stay for the post-game player thank you lap sponsored by ProBuild.
Cargo a single in the 1st. He struck out swinging in the 3rd and then grounded into a force out his last at bat. Came in with a batting average of .265 left on left. Very respectable. Here's the 1-0. And that's back up the middle with topspin. He's got his second hit of the ball game.
Average will go up even more with this second hit off his lefty today.
And he was hitting .296 coming in, so 2 for 4. Which is closer to that 300 mark. He was over it for a day or two late on the road trip. He had a really good road trip. Cargo ended up with a batting average of .371 on the road trip, a home run, 3 doubles, 4 ribbies. Here's Troy. Troy's 0 for 2 and a walk. He's now 6 for 55 against Arizona. Baseball at times doesn't make any sense, and certainly those numbers for one of the game's best players doesn't make a lot of sense, especially when you consider that when you play Arizona, you're either playing them in a hitter-friendly ballpark called Coors Field or a hitter-friendly ballpark called Chase Field.
2 of the best in all of baseball. But the other thing that does not make any sense is Troy's numbers at Petco Park.
Yeah, he makes Petco look like Coors Field.
Or Chase Field.
Or Chase Field. That's a clean base hit to center field. Cargo and Tulo on, and that'll bring up Kuzminoff.
Out of the hand. No movement on the baseball. Head down. Step back. Gather your momentum.
Pretty swing.
It's always nice when you hit the ball and you know it's going to be a base hit after you've finished your swing and where you hit it. There's no chance for anybody to catch it.
0-1 on Kuzminoff. Couple of strikeouts and a ground ball to third for Kevin. Here's something odd. Remember how good the Rockies were last year in day ball games? They're 16-28 this year. Lost yesterday 7-2 in San Diego. And that's a base hit. And Cargo is going to get waved home. And the Rockies have their 3rd run. So Kuzminov with his 6th RBI in a Rockies uniform. 3 straight singles against Zach Duke.
The first hit today with a runner in scoring position for Colorado, 1 for 6. Off the end of the bat, but just enough to get past Blum at third base.
Ty Wigginton's 1 for 3. And he takes a strike.
Zach Duke, coming into this season, had 160 major league games, 159 starts.
Well, if you want to stay around a long time, you better adapt. Seth Smith getting ready to hit in the pitcher spot, which is now the 7th hole. Rockies have only 2 options from the right side. Alfonso, the number 2 catcher, and switch hitter Johnny Herrera, because EY's already in the ball game.
But you want to keep Jonathan Herrera for his ability to play a middle infield position if there was an injury.
Broken bat, ground ball to short. They'll get the force. That's it. And Seth Smith will come up. If your windshield's damaged, we know who to call. Safe Light Auto Glass, 303-287-5000, online at safelight.com.
Seven for 18. 2 RBIs and a double is a pinch hitter for Seth Smith.
0-1 on Smith, hitting .236 left on left. Last year, Smith hit just .154 against lefties, 8 for 52. He's really improved those numbers quite a bit this year. And that's a great play at second. That's a wonderful play by Aaron Hill to rob Seth Smith of a hit and an RBI. Rockies get a run, 3 straight singles. Cargo driven in by Kevin Kuzminov. It's 9-3 as we go to the 9th. and only at Sonic for $1.99. By the Courtyard by Marriott on the 16th Street Mall. Ask about our hometown sports package. And by College Invest. Are you saving for college or just talking about it? Pretty day at Coors Field. Beautiful Labor Day. The score not to the liking, though, of the Rockies faithful. The Rockies trail the division-leading Arizona Diamondbacks 9-3 with Jeff Huston and Alana Rizzo. I'm Drew Goodman as we check in with Tom Helmer and get a preview of what's to come afterward. Tom.
Drew, we're going to talk about flying solo, which is the theme of today's game. 4 solo home runs in the ball game, and we'll also talk about Jeff Blum, who's in full Blum. 3 big hits today as Arizona's been strong offensively. And, of course, we'll get you down to the clubhouse. It's all coming in the Toyota postgame show. Drew?
All right, Tom. Thank you very much. J.C. Romero just called back to the big leagues. Veteran left-handed pitcher. Got 4 ball games before the Rockies sent him out and Josh Renicky out when Street and Lindstrom came off the disabled list. And now with the expansion of the rosters in September, JC is back.
634 career relief appearances for J.C. Romero. Career ERA of 3.53.
Aaron Hill at the plate. Doug just handed me a little note. Said Micah Owings on it. And my first inclination was to look in the on-deck circle.
To hit?
Yeah. This is well hit to center field. And Dexter is going to have to field it off the wall. Or short hop the wall. And Aaron Hill has his second double of the ball game.
And this ball just kept traveling to center field, but it traveled because it hit the sweet spot of the bat. Hill had pulled or attempted to pull every pitch in his first 4 at bats. That time stayed centered.
Blum with 3 hits in the ball game. He's driven in 3. 12 hits for Arizona outside, 1-1.
Still looking for his first hit right-handed this year. For his first 6.
Two and 2. Here's a wild stat. Jeff Blum in his career, go back to his Houston days, has had 3 RBIs in a game 35 times. You know what his team has done? 31-4.
Usually Blum hits down in the order, 5th or 6th. He's not a guy that would hit 3 or 4. So if you're receiving 3 RBIs from that spot in your lineup, usually means that there's a lot of guys in front of you, obviously, but they're driving in their runs too.
And Romero strikes out Blum for the first out in the 9th inning. Tomorrow's pitching matchup, the hatchet throwers going for Arizona, Josh Coleman.
Why do you always say that?
Well, because that's his background. And the Rockies will have the new daddy, Jason Hamill.
Jason was able to be at home. His wife gave birth to a baby boy. Threw a bullpen while the club was on the road, and then making a start again after being out in the bullpen for 3 or 4 appearances.
Collin COWGILL at the plate. He's 1 for 3 and a walk. Leadoff double for Aaron Hill. He's at second base. And a base hit to right center field, and another run will score. Aaron Hill comes around. COWGILL has his 4th RBI, and it is 10-3 Arizona.
Keep the pressure on, and the Diamondbacks and some of their young guys are doing that. COWGILL hitting the ball to the right side with authority.
And it's a day coming off that high pressure series in San Francisco. They give a couple of middle of the order guys the day off. Miguel Montero, their everyday catcher who hits in the middle of their order, and Chris Young, who hits in an RBI spot, 5th or 6th typically in the lineup. Those 2 guys not playing today.
Ryan Roberts also being given the day off.
Ryan Roberts, who has 18 home runs, he's been given the day off. So 3 regulars sitting down. Roberts, a hero yesterday, tied up the ball game in the 8th inning with a home run, and then the Diamondbacks went on to get 3 more. By the way, happy birthday to Chris Young. He turned 28 today. 0-2 to Blanco. Again,
but that's the luxury that Kirk Gibson has with the 7-game lead, to give guys some days off, put other position players in, and they don't miss a beat.
They don't miss a beat, and he did it in 1 ball game in the series against the Rockies down in Arizona. And it's not because, well, they have such a large lead that it's insurmountable. It's more that he wants guys fresh in the final month, and it looks like beyond. And it's worked out. They trust one another. That's what's happened. I mean, they've done so much winning, turned their season completely around. Did not have a great spring training. That's been documented. Criticized coming out of spring training by their general manager and at times their manager. 1.7 games under 500 in the first month and a half of the season. But slowly they started to win. They started to win the close games, and now there's trust up and down that roster. This is a ground ball to short. There's 1, and the double play is turned. So we'll go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Arizona adds a run against J.C. Romero. It is 10-3 D-backs. Nashville Tourists. It's Thursday night at 6:30. You'll get to learn a little bit more about former #1 pick Tyler Matzik. He's been throwing the ball very well down the stretch for the Tourists. And you'll also meet manager Joe Nicola, colorful character and a terrific skipper. It's coming up on Rockies All Access. Tourist Town, Part 2. Thursday night, 6:30, right here on Root Sports. Mike Owings will throw the 9th inning for Arizona. 10-3 affair. Arizona on top. Chris Iannetta. Eric Young at the top of the order. And Iannetta takes a strike on the outside corner.
Mike Owings, 4 starts this year, 22 relief appearances against the Rockies, 2-0 with a 1.59 ERA.
And a 2-strike count. Barbecuing later?
Yes, I am.
You in charge?
Yes, I am.
No, you're not. You have to pause. Should I lie?
I'm not in charge of...
You're in charge of the barbecue.
Yeah, I'll go turn on the grill and then I'll cook. But before that, not a whole lot happening.
No.
Now that's an idea. Pick up some famous Daves.
You look like a hero.
How about you?
Yep.
No, you're not in charge.
I'm
Christy
not,
is.
yeah, I'm not in charge. No. Well, why even go there? And Mike Owings strikes out Chris Iannetta. 1 gone in the 9th. Eric Young Jr. Second at bat. EY hit a flat ball to fairly deep left field his first time up. Now he'll step in from the left side. Came into the ball game defensively 2 innings ago. A double switch. And Junior loops one to left field. Parra was playing shallow. And there are 2 outs. So Dexter Fowler will approach. Dexter a home run, a ground ball to third, a double to left center, and he was caught looking his last time up. Now with the 2 hits today and 4 visits to the plate, he's got the average to 274.
So much more confidence for Dexter.
Oh, he's a different player. 2-0.
Taking pitches, seeing the baseball.
Two and 2. Well, when Dexter was sent out, he was hitting in the low 240s. And this ball is well hit right center field. Fowler has hit another. A 2-home run game for Dexter Fowler. All 4 of his home runs this year in the last 8 days, and all against the Arizona Diamondbacks.
3 left-handed home runs, 1 right-handed home run. Right-handed lead off the ball game. And talk about getting through the baseball. That's what Dexter's doing now from the left side. The front foot is landing, getting planted into the ground, and the swing is happening after that. He is not bringing his hips forward or his hands forward until he's ready to swing the bat and attack the baseball.
Way inside on Mark Ellis. It's 2-0. 10-4 the score. Rockies with 10 hits in the ball game. How about this? Dex did not hit a home run his first 379 at bats this year. In his last 25 at bats, he has 4 home runs.
You knew the power was there. We see it in batting practice sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, and in the past, you know, he had 6 home runs last year. And when they were projecting, as you look at his swing again, because of his size, because of, you know, leverage, they figured he could be a, you know, 10-12 home run a year guy, and he may work into that eventually. And now Ellis walks, now allow Cargo to come up. Also 15 extra base hits in the last 13 games for Dexter.
Probably the best thing about all of that is even after he hit the home run, he was still taking the ball the other way when they would pitch him away. It wasn't, I hit a home run, let me try to hit more than what I'm capable of.
And for some guys who don't hit a lot of home runs, you've seen it, all of a sudden the approach changes. They get enamored with.
They get happy. They get pull happy. Oh, I hit a home run, I can hit another one and another one, and you end up over.
It's way inside. Carlos is 2 for 4. Ellis moves up. Not a stolen base. This is the time of year. You look at those ridiculous numbers. 2-out scoring position, 467. This is the time of year where you have to keep your professionalism. No matter the score, no matter the standings.
You're saying don't give away at bats. You keep going until the 27th out. That's why you're a professional.
Three and 1. Tulowitzki on deck. And Owings misses badly there. 3-1. And here comes Tulo.
Charles Nagy?
Well, I think, I'm guessing, I think Gibson's going to give Mike Owings one more hitter.
Well, they were conversing about it. And with a 10-4 lead, the last thing Kirk Gibson wanted to have to do was get up Brian Shaw.
Well, no, that's not the last thing he wanted to do. The last thing he wants to do is get up David Hernandez or J.J. Putz.
Anybody else out in that bullpen when you coming into this inning leading 10-3. Yeah, if you get Hernandez or Putz up,
you know, it happens. You remember we were down in Arizona, and Arizona had a substantial lead. Next thing you know, Rockies put a little rally together. Putz not only had to get up, he had to get in the game. He ended up earning the save. Had to get 2 outs. And again, that's not what managers want to see. Rockies trailing 10-4. They have 2 on. Tulowitzki 1 for 3 and a walk.
After the home run, Micah Owings trouble locating the zone.
all kinds of trouble. 2-0. He's not giving up.
He hasn't given up.
Not a baby.
Love his enthusiasm.
Got the guns working too, huh?
Showing him off.
Two 2-0. Ellis and Gonzalez aboard. Giants up 6-1 now in the 8th inning in San Diego. And Troy drives one to deep center field, way back and gone. 3-run home run, dead center field. And it's a 10-7 ball game. And Troy Tulowitzki, for the first time in his career, has 100 RBIs. Congratulations, it will not be the last time.
All 4 of these runs, all with 2 outs.
'29 home runs, 100 driven in for Troy Tulowitzki. We'll come back. You never know. Home run of the year, 3 RBIs, got 100 now for the season. We've got tacos, fans. Don't forget to make your way to Taco Bell tomorrow in the state of Colorado. Do it between 4 and 6 in the afternoon, and you'll get your Rockies Tacos special. Now that's a steal. And here's a shot again at Tulowitzki's home run against Mike Owens. He had to go down and get that, Jeff.
And that's where the strength of Troy comes into play, because he goes down, as you mentioned, and gets the baseball, but the strength to stay through it and hit it out to center field.
Kuzminoff facing Brian Shaw.
And one more look at the full extension from Troy. Head tracking the barrel of the bat.
That's in there for a strike, 1-1. You know, one of the many things that he does very well. If you watch it from a hitter standpoint, Jeff, he gets that great back knee drive to the front knee.
And the front leg is stiff, so he has something to hit off of. That locks into the ground, and then the knee rotates, and that'll propel the hips to finish the swing.
1-2 on Kuzminoff, trying to keep it going here. Rockies within 3. Troy, incidentally, he becomes the 4th National League player to hit triple digits in runs batted in this year. He joins Prince Fielder, Ryan Howard, and Matt Kemp. Milwaukee leading 4-1 in St. Louis in the 8th inning. 1-2. Kevin keeping the at-bat going. Kuzminoff 1 for 4. He drove in a run last inning with a single. He's getting a long look and an everyday look. Jim Tracy, Dan O'Dowd here over the final 5 weeks of the season. There are 20 games left after today.
Well, that's all a player can ask. Give me a chance, I'll prove it. It's hard when you get a look for a day or two and then you sit for 2 days. Play a day, sit for a day. Play 3, but he is every day having the opportunity.
This is fisted foul. And no player can ever argue then and say, well, I didn't get a chance. Didn't get an opportunity.
I didn't put up the numbers I wanted to because I didn't get the regular at bats.
He held up. 3-2.
Everything has been up in the zone for Brian Shaw.
3-2. And Shaw strikes out Kuzminoff to end the ball game. The Rockies do get 4 in the 9th inning. A couple of home runs. Fowler, for the first time in his career, a multi-home run game. And then a couple of walks, and Troy Tulowitzki hits a 3-run bomb. But Arizona did too much damage in the first 8 innings, and they end up winning the baseball game 10-7. They're now 12-4 this year against the Rockies, and they will continue to have at least a 7-game lead in the National League West. They improved to 21 games over 500. Arizona 81-60. The Rockies fall 9 games beneath 500. They're 66-75. Miley gets the win. He's 3-1. And Rogers takes the loss. He is 6-5. Today's delivery of the game is brought to you by Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery guys. And Jeff Blum gets the honors today. He drove in 2 with that base hit and a solo home run a little bit later on in the ball game. So the often injured Jeff Blum in 2011 having his biggest day of the year. He came in with 2 RBIs and he leaves with 5. Again, the final score, 10-7 Arizona. Stick around. Postgame shows up next.